We are the Gujarat Technological University. Since its inception over a decade ago, GTU has been empowering young and curating minds to realize their true potential. Over 4 lakh inspired students are enrolled with one of the premier academic universities in India. With more than 450 affiliated colleges in its fold operating across 5 zones of the state, GTU, the International Innovative University, your place to move forward.
Good morning all. Today we are going to learn about transformer. Hi, I am Jaideep Singh Chauhan from Shankar Singh Waghela Bapu Institute of Technology. Today we will discuss about third chapter transformer in basic electrical engineering in mechanical and civil engineering branch. Okay, so here is the layout of your video lectures that we will discuss today. First layout of this discussion, or you can say lecture. So first topic will be transformer, little bit about transformer, what is transformer and all. Second will be construction and working principle of single phase transformer. 3-phase transformer we will discuss in next topic or in next video lecture. Then ideal transformer and practical transformer. All the theory which we are dealing are basically from ideal transformers. Okay. Next is losses in transformer, EMF equation, auto transformer in application. Okay, so what is transformer? So you can define transformer as a static device which transform your energy from one voltage level to another voltage level without changing in frequency. This is the basic definition of transformer. Okay, so you can say that transformer is a static device. Here transformer words means transform. It transforms your electrical power, AC power, at one voltage level into AC electrical power at another voltage level. Though the action of magnetic field, but with proportion increase or decrease in current rating without change in frequency. Here you can say when you are changing your voltage level, means if you are rising your voltage level, means what? Your current is decreasing when you are increasing your voltage level. Okay, and vice versa, if you in decreasing your voltage level, your current will increases. But during this whole phenomena, your frequency remains constant. So that is an important thing. Or you can say that it can either step up or step down. Now, step up and step down means what? Step up voltage means when you are giving primary voltage as 110 volt and you are getting your output at 220 or more than that, means your voltage level is step up. Okay, your primary was little bit lower than that of your secondary. Okay, so this is the step up voltage. Again, step down means what? Your primary level is greater than that of your secondary level. Okay, so that is your step down. Then how principle of transformer, how it works. So you can say the main principal operation of transformer is mutual induction between two circuits which is linked by a common magnetic field. Here two circuits are connected magnetically, not electrically. Okay, you are giving supply to one coil. Okay, then flux will be generated in that coil, and that flux will link with your secondary coil. Okay, so you can say that both windings are not electrically connected, but they are connected magnetically. So basic transformer consists of two coils that are electrically separated and inductive, but are magnetically linked through a path of reluctance. This is the basic transformer, basic diagram of transformer. Here you can say that this portion is your core. Okay, here it is your winding, you can say as a primary winding. Here it is a secondary winding. And sometimes you will say LV winding and HV winding. As named defined, LV is low voltage, HV is high voltage. Okay, you can see that two windings are not electrically connected. Okay, they are both electrically separated. But when you are giving supply to primary winding, some flux is generated. Here phi is your flux. That primary flux will link with your secondary flux. So you can say that they are magnetically linked with each other. Got it? Okay, as shown above, the transformer is primary and secondary windings. The core lamination are joined in form of strip. In between the strip, you can see that there are some narrow gaps right through the cross section of the core. These stagger joints are said to be imbricated. Both coils have high mutual induction. Now, this is your core. Okay, you can see that this core is basically either it may be C type, E type, I type, okay, the thickness of that is 0.3 mm or 0.5 mm. They are placed one above one to other, okay, and they are imbricated, okay, and on that this winding is mounted, okay. Then the mutual electromotive force is induced in transformer from alternating flux that is set up in the laminated core due to the coil that is connected to the source of alternating voltage. Most of the alternating flux developed by this coil is linked with the other coil. Most of the alternating flux developed by primary winding is linked with your secondary winding. Okay, thus produce the mutual induced electromotive force, and this will produce your EMF. Okay. So produced electromotive force can be explained with help of Faraday law of electromagnetic induction, that is E equal to m di by dt. Okay. If the second coil is short circuited, the current flow in it and thus electrical energy is transferred magnetically from first to second coil. The alternating current supply is given to the first coil and hence it can be said a primary winding. Okay. So as I have explained that in secondary we are not giving electrical supply, but when you are giving supply to primary winding, what happens? The magnetic flux is generated that will link with your secondary winding. And if secondary winding is short circuited, then what happens? EMF will be induced in secondary winding. Okay. Then in short, you can say transformer carries operations shown below. Transfer of electrical power from one circuit to another. Second, transfer of electrical power without any change in frequency. Remember this, during this operation of step up and step down, frequency does not change. Okay. Then transfer with principle of electromagnetic induction. On which principle transformer work? It work on electromagnetic induction. The two electrical circuits are linked by mutual induction, not electrically connected. Okay. Then, okay, classification of transformer. Transformer can be classified according to their you can say phases, single phase, three phase, according to their uses. Okay, here we are having some classifications. So transformer can be classified as instrument transformer, step up, step down transformer, single phase and three phase transformer, power transformer, distributed transformer. In instrument transformer, you can also say current transformer and potential transformer. Okay. Then in single phase and three phase, also you can say according to construction, there are also classification like core type, cell type. Okay. Here we are going according to their construction, that is core type and cell type. Okay. First, what is core? Okay. So you can say core is a vital part of transformer which provide a continuous magnetic path, a minimum of air gap. Okay, the core is construction with laminated steel sheet which is high silicon content, high permeability and low hysteresis losses. Got it? For minimizing the eddy current losses, the sheet steel is laminated each other by the light coat of core plate varnish or by an oxide layer on the surface. The thickness of lamination varies from 0.35 mm for a frequency of 50 Hz to 0.5 mm for frequency of 25 Hz. The core lamination joint in the form of strip, which is in figure 1. For avoiding narrow gap in between layers, the laminated layer are staggered in order, and these staggered joints are said imbricated joints. Constructionally, the transformer two types. Okay, the two types basically will be come in next section, and here it is basically figure 1. Okay, not 2. Fine. So as I have already told that core are basically E type, L type, C type, I type. So these are some diagrams of core. Okay. So in this core type transformer, the winding, so basically according to its construction, there are two type of transformer I have told, more than two types, but according to construction, we will divide into two parts. One is core type, another is shell type. Okay. Now in core type transformer, the windings surround the considerable part of core. Okay, this is your core type. Here winding surrounds the maximum part of your core. Okay, here you can say two limbs are there. Okay, this is basically your, you can say C type of core material. Okay, two C types of core material joined together. Okay, and imbricated. Okay, to form a core, and in that core windings are mounted. Okay, so here you can say either LV winding or primary winding. This is your HV winding or secondary winding, V1 and V2. So in this core type of transformer, the windings surround the considerable part of core. Okay, generally the core of core type transformer is rectangular shape, as you see, and the coil are both circular or rectangular in form, and the winding are located on opposite limb of core, which is shown here. Okay, two windings are in opposite limbs. Okay, and sometimes you can say that LV and HV, you can say here LV is mounted on that, HV is mounted, and here also LV winding is there and HV winding is there according to this construction. Okay, but the major difference in core is that windings are mounted on two different limbs. Okay, as we see, as I have told that LV and HV both are mounted on here, but both windings are mounted in two different limbs. Okay, got it? Fine. So in most of large size core type transformer, round or cylindrical coils are used because the mechanical strength of circular cylindrical coil is high. Got it? Okay. So to remember core type transformer, you should remember that core type transformer, the windings are mounted on two different limbs. Okay. For easy version, we can say the primary winding on one limb and secondary winding on other limb. Okay, in detail, you can remember that LV and HV on primary and LV and HV on secondary. Got it? Now, this is the basic cut sectional view and top sectional view of your core type. Here you can say LV on inner side and HV on outer side. Okay, lower voltage always in inner side near the core. Okay, low voltage windings are placed nearer the core as it is easiest to insulate. Okay, this is basic construction of core type. Okay, cut section view. Got it? Then come the cell type. Okay, these are some cell type transformers. Okay, okay, this is a cell type. In cell type, what happens? The difference between core type and cell type is that in core type, windings were mounted on two limbs. Okay, and in cell type, windings are mounted on single limb. In core type, we are having only one flux path. In cell type, we are having two flux path. Okay, so you can say that for this linking of flux in cell type is more compared to that of core type. Okay, as we are getting two flux paths. Okay, so from here you can say that the core of single phase cell type transformer is constructed with three limbs. Okay, we are seeing that here three limbs is there. The basic core is of E type. Okay, strip of core is E type, and many strips are joined together or imbricated together to form such type of cores. Okay, here you can easily see that many E type of connected core strips, and I type is also there. Okay, this is basically butt joint, you can say, and lamination is provided on that for reducing your eddy current, as earlier told. Okay, the core of single phase cell type transformer is constructed with three limbs. This design increase the mechanical strength of core. Okay, first thing is that it is more, you can say, easily, it has mechanical strength, good mechanical strength. Okay, compared to that. Okay, it also improved the protection of winding from external mechanical shock. The HV and LV windings are wound around the center limb. The center limb carries the entire flux phi, whereas the side limbs carry half of the flux phi by 2. These are your side limbs. This is your main limb. Okay, on which your LV and HV are mounted. Hence, to accommodate the flux, the cross section of center limb is twice than that of side of limbs. So by default, you can say that when two windings are mounted on center limb, so cross section of that center limb will be more than that of others. Okay. So here you can say this is your basically what we called as a cell type transformer. Okay, here LV windings and HV windings are there. This is your core. Okay, I shape plus E shape imbricated together. Okay, so the magnetic flux flow through two closed magnetic paths, which decrease the core losses and hence increase the efficiency of transformer. This which I was talking about, that here due to two flux path, okay, flux losses are less in shell type compared to core type. So shell type transformer give more output compared to similar to that of core type. One of the main benefit we get using cell type is that core gives good support against the electromagnetic force that can occur between current carrying conductor during the case of short circuit. Okay, application mainly used for low voltage application like low voltage power supply in electronic circuits. Okay, Okay, now ideal transformer. Basically, ideal transformer, we can say that ideal transformer has no losses in it. Okay, but practically, as we know, that such type of uh, transformer are not feasible. Okay, but for study, we are taking ideal transformer. Okay, so you can say that an ideal transformer is a transformer which has no losses. Its winding has no ohmic resistance, no magnetic leakage, and therefore no I square R losses. Okay, this is your square. Okay. Fine. So, however, it is impossible to realize such as transformer in practice, as I have already told. Yet, the approximate characteristic of ideal transformer will be used in characteristic of practical transformer. It is necessary to know about how ideal transformer will work. Okay, so here you can say these are the two windings, primary winding and secondary windings. N1 and N2 are the turns of primary winding and secondary winding respectively. E1 is EMF induced in primary winding, E2 is EMF induced in secondary winding. I1 is current flowing in primary winding, I2 is current induced in secondary winding. Okay, here N1 by N2 is also known as transformation ratio. So to check the performance of the device by comparing the output with respect to input, basically for finding efficiency, what we are taking ratio of output upon input. Okay, so here the ratio of output upon input is more, the efficiency will be more. Simple thing. So efficiency can be calculated at output power upon input power into 100. Okay, if in percentage then. Okay, so output, instead of output you can write P out. Okay, and instead of input you can write P out plus P losses. Okay, so by default consider it as in a percentage. Okay, so instead of P out we also can write V2 I2 cos theta. Okay, similarly you can say V2 I2 cos theta plus core loss and copper loss. One stands for core loss, that is Cu, and PC stands for copper loss, that is PC. Okay, now again for full load efficiency, VA cos theta upon VA cos theta plus PC plus PCU. Okay, into 100 in percentage, and load N. If we are changing the load, if we are not taking 100% load, we are taking half, then N will be 1 by 2. Okay, so for N load efficiency, N VA cos theta upon N VA cos theta plus PC plus N square PCU. Here again PC and PCU, you know, copper loss and core loss. Okay, so if half load is there, N will be half. Okay, so this equation will be become half VA cos theta upon half VA cos theta plus PC plus half square PCU. Okay, means core loss plus copper loss. If 90% of full load will be there, then N will be 0.9 VA cos theta upon 0.9 VA cos theta plus copper loss into 0.9 square plus core losses into 100. Here I have already shown that PC is PSC. PSC means what? Short circuit. Okay, why it is called short circuit PCU? Because when we are experimenting short circuit of your transformer, okay, or you can say short circuit practical of transformer will give copper losses, and open circuit practical will give you core losses, that is basically you can say iron losses. Okay, so transformation ratio is N1 by N2, or you can say V1 by V2, or you can say E1 by E2 and equal to I2 by I1. Okay, remember this. Okay, A is turns ratio of transformer, N1 is number of turns on primary, N2 is number of turns on secondary, V1 is primary voltage, V2 is secondary voltage, I1 is primary current, and I2 is secondary current. Fine. Okay, now comes losses of transformer. What are the losses of transformers? Okay, so losses of transformer, first thing is generally there are two type of losses, iron losses and copper losses. There are some other losses also like stray losses and dielectric losses, but in syllabus they are more focusing on iron losses and copper losses. Now in iron losses there are also two type of losses. One is your uh, hysteresis losses and other is your eddy current losses. So first thing, hysteresis losses. What is hysteresis loss? So I think you have already learned about BH curve. From that you can easily know about hysteresis loss. Or basically hysteresis loss is what the core of transformer is subjected to an alternating magnetic force, and for each cycle of EMF a hysteresis loop is stressed out. Power is dissipated in form of heat known as hysteresis loss and given by the equation shown below. The equation is nothing but P hysteresis is equal to Kn Basically you can say F eta B raised to 1.6, B max E raised to 1.6 FV watt. Okay. Next, where Kn is proportionally constant, which depend upon volume and quality of material of the core used in transformer. F is supply frequency, B max is maximum peak value of flux density. Got it? Some losses of transformer are here. Losses in transformer are iron or coal loss, eddy current and hysteresis loss, as I have told, copper loss or ohmic losses, then stray losses and dielectric losses. Okay, so again, the iron or coal loss can be minimized by using laminations. Okay, by using laminations, silicon steel material, laminated silicon steel material for construction of core of transformer. Okay, so iron loss can be minimized by using silicon sheet material, basically laminated silicon steel sheet material. Okay, fine. So next is eddy current losses. So eddy current losses is what? When flux linked with closed circuit and EMF is induced in the circuit and current flow. The value of current depend upon amount of EMF around the circuit and the resistance of circuit. Since the core is made up of conducting material, the EMF circulates currents within the body of material. These circulate current are called eddy currents. They will occur when the conductors experience a changing magnetic field. As these currents are not responsible for doing any useful work and it produces I square R losses in magnetic material known as eddy current losses. The eddy current losses is minimized by making the core with thin laminations. Okay, the equation of eddy current is P K Bm square T square F square V, where K is coefficient of eddy current. Okay, Bm is maximum flux density, Weber per meter square. T thickness of laminations. F is frequency and V is the volume of magnetic material in the magnetic material, right? Okay, so eddy current loss, you can say that there is core and you can say windings are there. When we are giving supply to windings, what happens? The flux is generated. Okay, that EMF is induced in the circuit, and that EMF, that flux is flowing from primary to secondary. Okay, as we know that they are not electrically connected, but they are magnetically connected. So what happens? Some flux will link with the body of that material. Basically, body of material means core of that transformer. Okay, and the core is also a type of metal. So if we are not giving proper laminations, okay, and proper, you can say that strips, okay, making thin lamination strips. Okay, if we are not using thin, we are just making a piece of that iron, then what will happen? Eddy current will be more. Okay, so there is thin laminations, that sheet steels. Okay, because of that, what happens? That linking of flux will be reduced total, and total eddy current loss will be less. Okay, then comes copper loss, or you can say ohmic loss. Copper loss, you also you can know that there are windings in that. Okay, and they have resistance in that. Means what happens? There will be I square R losses. Okay, which are not usable to us. Hence, they are losses. Okay, so these losses occur due to ohmic resistance of transformer winding. If I1 and I2 are primary and secondary current, R1 and R2 are resistance of primary and secondary winding, then copper losses occurring in primary and secondary winding will be I square R1 and I square R2. Okay, I1 square R1 and I2 square R2 respectively. So you can say copper loss can be given as for primary I1 square R1 and plus for secondary I2 square plus I2 square R2. Okay, now when it is open circuited, that time you will not get copper losses. Okay, in that time you are only getting core losses, or you can say iron losses. Hence, they are also known as iron short circuit losses, open circuit losses. Sorry. Okay, and when you are short circuiting your circuit, at that time you will get copper losses. Another is stray losses. Okay, the occurrence of these stray losses is due to presence of leakage field. The percentage of these losses are very small compared to iron and copper loss, so we can neglect it. Second, next is dielectric losses. Dielectric losses occurs in insulating material of transformer. Insulating material in transformer, that is oil of transformer, or in solid insulations. When the oil get deteriorated or the solid insulation get damaged or its quality decreases, and because of this the efficiency of transformer get affected. Okay, these are some losses for transformer. Now EMF equations. So here you can say that EMF equations. Okay. So EMF equation means what happens when you are giving supply to your primary windings, okay, and you are getting EMF in secondary winding. So at least you should know how much EMF you will get, okay, and that can be easily uh, find out by EMF. Okay, some numericals are also there on based of this, which are asked in GQ. Okay, we will discuss in next lecture. So here is a waveform. Okay, this is one waveform having time t. Okay, maximum flux is 5m, and we are taking 1/4 cycle, that is t by 4. Okay, so EMF equation of transformer, let n1 be the number of primary turns, n2 will be the number of secondary turns, 5m maximum flux in core in Weber, that will be bm into a. Okay, maximum flux density into a area. So F frequency of AC input in hertz, that will be 50 hertz for India. Okay, flux increase from 0 to maximum value 5m. Here you can say flux is increasing from 0 to maximum value 5m. Okay, in half 1/4 of cycle means 1/4 time of your cycle, means 1 by f, 1 by 4f second. Okay, so the average rate of change of flux will be what? Flux will be 1 by 4f 5m. Got it? So that can be written as 4f 5m Weber per second of volt. Okay, now rate of change of flux per turns means for total t time. Okay, average EMF turns 4f5m volt. Now if flux phi varies sinusoidally, then RMS value induced in EMF is obtained by multiplying the average value with form factor. So you can say form factor is what? It is RMS upon average. Here we know the average value and form factor value. So you can say average value is 4f5m and form factor is 1.1. So RMS value of EMF per turn will be 1.11 into 4 f5m equal to 4.44 f5m volt. Got it? So now RMS value of induced EMF in whole of primary winding will be total number of turns will be added here. So induced EMF per turns into number of primary turns. So that will be E1 equal to 4.44 fn1 5m, or you can say 4.44 fn1 instead of 5m you can write bm into a. Okay, similarly for secondary winding, you can say 4.44 fn1. For secondary winding, instead of n1, it will be n2 5m or 4.44 fn2 bm into a. Got it? This is how we are getting EMF equations. Now, transformer, basically auto transformer. You can say that auto transformer is nothing, but it is a simple transformer, same transformer having single winding. In normally we are seeing that they are seeing primary winding, secondary winding, or LV winding or HV winding. But in auto transformer, what we are having? We are having only one winding, and secondary is taken from that. So an auto transformer is a kind of electrical transformer where primary and secondary share some common single winding. Okay, primary and secondary both have same windings. Okay, tapping out is taken from primary winding for making secondary winding. So it is basically one winding transformer. So auto transformer theory. In an auto transformer, one single winding is used as primary winding as well as secondary winding. But in two winding transformer, two different windings are used for primary and secondary purpose. A circuit diagram of auto transformer is shown below. Okay. Now, done. Okay. One important question is that copper saving in auto transformer. Okay. So now we will discuss the saving of copper in auto transformer compared to conventional two winding transformers. In two winding transformer, we have seen that two windings are there, and in auto transformer only one winding is there. So basically, we can say that more saving of copper will be there in auto transformer. Okay. Now we know that the weight of copper of any winding depend upon its length and cross section area. Okay, L into A. Again, length of conductor in winding is proportional to number of turns. Okay, and cross sectional area varies with rated current, right? So weight of copper in winding is directly proportional to product of number of turns, rated current of windings. Fine. So therefore the weight of copper in section AC proportional to N1 minus N2 equal to I1. N1 minus N2 into I1. Here you can say N1 is primary winding, N2 is secondary winding, and I1 is primary current. Okay. So weight of copper can be given by number of turns into rated current. So here turns and current. Similarly, weight of copper in section BC, or you can say for secondary winding, N2 will be equal to I2 minus I1, how much current is there, and winding of N2. Hence the total weight of copper in the winding of auto transformer proportional to N2 minus N1 into I1, this equation, plus N2 into I2 minus I1, this equation. So by solving this, you can say N1 I1 minus N2 I1 plus N2 I2 minus N2 I1. We will get that. From that, you can say N2 I2 N2 I1 minus N2 I1. That are common things. Okay, then that will be occur what, minus minus plus. So N1 I1 plus N2 I2 minus 2 N2 I1. Okay, so 2 N1 I1 minus 2 N2 I1, since N1 I1 equal to N2 I2. Okay, for ideal transformer or for transformer, if you are saying that N1 I1 equal to N2 I2, okay, then you can say that this N1 I1 equal to N2 I2. So instead of that, you can write 2 N1 I1 minus 2 N2 I1. Okay, taking 2 as a common, N1 I1 minus N2 I2. Sorry, 2 in common, N1 I1 minus N2 I1. Okay, so wait. Okay, so we have equation N1 I1 minus N2 I2. Okay, or equal to, since transformer N1 I1 equal to N2 I2, you can say 2 N1 I1. Okay, so N1 I1 plus N2 I2, right? 2 N1 I1 we can write. Okay, so let us assume WA and WTW are weight of copper in auto transformer and two winding transformer respectively. Hence WA upon WTW will be equal to what? 2 N1 I1 minus N2 I1, which we have taken earlier. Okay, and second will be 2 N1 I1. Okay, so from that you can say N1 I1 minus N2 I1 upon N1 I1 will be equal to what? 1 minus N2 I1 upon N1 minus N1 I1. Right, so I1 I1 common, though that will be 1 upon N2 minus N1 equal to 1 minus K. Okay, K is nothing but you can say your turns ratio, right? Fine, so you can say weight WA equal to WTW, that will be equal to 1 minus K. Okay, WA is equal to WTW minus K into multiplying WTW with both. Okay, so saving of copper in auto transformer compared to two winding transformer will be equal to how much? WTW minus WA will be equal to K WTW. Okay, so here's the diagram of your auto transformer. Okay, application of auto transformer, you can say compensating voltage drop by boosting supply voltage in distribution systems. Okay, so you can say in distribution systems we are using this. Auto transformer with a number of tapping are used for starting induction and synchronous motors. Auto transformer used as variac in laboratories and where continuous variable overbroad rims are required. Okay, these are some applications of the auto transformer. Okay, these are some transformers which you have already seen. Okay, power transformer in substations, pole mounted transformer in near to your society or where you are living or in company. Okay, thank you.